What is the relative deprivation theory of crime? In the realm of criminology, the relative deprivation theory provides a lens through which we can explore the complex relationship between perceived inequality and criminal behavior. This exploration aims to demystify the relative deprivation theory of crime, breaking down its key concepts and providing real-world examples to illustrate how feelings of disadvantage can contribute to criminal actions. Key concepts of relative deprivation theory. At its core, the relative deprivation theory of crime posits that crime is not only influenced by absolute levels of poverty or disadvantage but also by the perceived discrepancy between one's own situation and that of others. In simpler terms, individuals may be driven to commit crimes when they feel unfairly deprived in comparison to their peers. Example: economic disparities and property crime. Imagine a neighborhood where economic disparities are stark, with some residents enjoying affluence while others struggle with financial hardship. In this context, an individual experiencing relative deprivation, perceiving their economic standing as significantly lower than that of their neighbors, may be more prone to engage in property crimes such as theft or burglary as a means to address their perceived disadvantage. Relative deprivation and strain theory. Relative deprivation theory is closely aligned with strain theory, which posits that individuals turn to crime when they experience a disjunction between societal goals and the means available to achieve them. Relative deprivation adds an interpersonal dimension to this strain, emphasizing the impact of social comparisons on criminal behavior. Example: educational disparities and strain. Consider a student from a socioeconomically disadvantaged background attending a school where their peers have access to better resources and educational opportunities. The strain caused by the perceived educational disadvantage might lead this student to resort to criminal activities as a way to bridge the gap or achieve material success through alternative means. Social movements in crime. Relative deprivation theory also extends to the realm of collective behavior, explaining how perceived inequalities can fuel social movements and, in some cases, criminal activities within those movements. Example: civil unrest and rioting. During periods of civil unrest or social movements, individuals may engage in rioting or looting as a response to perceived societal injustices. The sense of relative deprivation, whether economic, racial, or political, can become a catalyst for criminal actions within the broader context of collective movements seeking change. Media influence and relative deprivation. Media plays a crucial role in shaping perceptions of relative deprivation. The portrayal of wealth, success, and societal norms can influence individuals' perceptions of their own standing in comparison to others, potentially contributing to criminal behavior. Example: media portrayal of lifestyle disparities. Consider a scenario where media consistently portrays a glamorous lifestyle associated with material wealth. Individuals who perceive themselves as falling short of this ideal may feel a sense of relative deprivation, potentially leading to criminal activities as they seek to attain the depicted lifestyle through illicit means. Gang involvement and relative deprivation. Gangs often provide a poignant illustration of relative deprivation theory in action. Individuals, particularly in disadvantaged neighborhoods, may join gangs seeking a sense of belonging and empowerment in response to perceived societal inequalities. Example: gang membership in economically disadvantaged areas. In neighborhoods with limited economic opportunities, people facing relative deprivation may turn to gang membership. The gang becomes a surrogate family and a source of power in response to the perceived disadvantages they experience in comparison to more affluent communities. Policy implications in addressing relative deprivation. Understanding the link between relative deprivation and crime has significant implications for policy and intervention strategies. Addressing the root causes of perceived inequality can be crucial in preventing criminal behavior. Example: educational equity initiatives. To mitigate the impact of educational disparities, policymakers might implement initiatives aimed at ensuring equal access to quality education for all. By addressing relative deprivation in the educational sphere, such policies can contribute to reducing the strain that might lead individuals to criminal activities. Community development and crime prevention. Investing in community development programs that alleviate economic disparities and provide opportunities for social mobility can be instrumental in addressing relative deprivation at its core. Example: economic empowerment initiatives. Initiatives focused on creating economic opportunities, such as job training programs and small business support, can contribute to reducing the sense of relative deprivation linked to economic disparities. By empowering individuals economically, these initiatives may help steer them away from criminal pathways. Limitations and criticisms of relative deprivation theory. While insightful, relative deprivation theory has faced criticisms. Some argue that it oversimplifies the complex nature of criminal behavior, neglecting individual agency and other contributing factors. Example: individual agency in crime. Consider an individual facing economic hardship who, despite relative deprivation, chooses not to engage in criminal activities. Critics argue that relative deprivation theory may not account for the diverse ways individuals respond to perceived inequalities, emphasizing the role of personal agency in criminal decision-making. Conclusion: in deciphering the relative deprivation theory of crime, we unveil a dynamic interplay between perceptions of inequality and criminal behavior. From property crimes driven by economic disparities to collective actions within social movements, the theory provides a nuanced understanding of how relative deprivation influences individuals and communities. Recognizing the impact of social comparisons on criminal behavior is essential for crafting effective policies that address the root causes of perceived inequalities. By comprehending the intricacies of relative deprivation, we can work towards fostering a society where individuals feel empowered and supported, reducing the conditions that may drive some toward criminal activities in response to their perceived disadvantages. World.